Hey guys, welcome to the She's Ready vlog podcast or / whatever God wants to make it. Listen, I am so excited today because we got another episode of She's Ready. And y'all, I got one of my good friends here with me. Like, we met in college and that's been my girl ever since. Like, we do life together every single day. Yeah. Meet my friend. Her name is Jamesha Shackerford. Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, Shackerford for now.
Shackerford. Oh, for now. See, that's why this is my girl, for now. Because she gonna prophesy with her words. Period. Okay, Jamesha, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Just a little information. Give a little bit.
So I'm originally from Lakeview, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. It's in Dillon County. Not Dillon, but in Dillon County. No shade. No shade to Dillon people, but you just gotta, be specific.
I feel shade.
But yeah, I'm from a small town. Been in Columbia since I was 12 years old, so I pretty much call it my home. Yeah. Yes, went to college here, proud Columbia College graduate.
And what made you go to Columbia College, by the way? I don't think I ever asked you that.
You want the real honest?
Yeah, honest. Give me the real. We do real here, okay? What's the real?
Okay, so I was not I knew I wanted to go to college, but I didn't put the investment in time into going to, applying for applications.
Okay.
The math don't math. Like, if you want to go to college, but you don't apply for college, it don't math. But I went to a dance camp at Columbia College, and I heard that they were giving out dance scholarships. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, let me try this college because I want to go. I have not started the process yet. But I went for the dance scholarship, applied, and I got it. Well, actually, I got the scholarship, but I didn't get into Columbia College, immediately.
Okay.
Test scores was not test scoring.
Okay. Mine either. So that's why I was like, yeah, we both got in the same way. Let me see how we did.
It was an interview. Okay. Yeah. So my SAT, ACT was not great. I mean, even in high school, I was like a average B student. Mm-hmm. So nothing crazy. But the Lord had to play it. Okay. We preaching already? Okay. But I did an interview with one of the faculty members that was there. And yeah, sharing my heart. And I got a notice maybe a week later that you went from the wait list till you actually are accepted. I said, come on, Lord. So that's how my story is with Columbia College. And now that led me from Columbia College into the field of philanthropy. Mm-hmm. So I get a chance to work with just wealthy people, high net people, and helping them steward their dollars into community. And then the Lord pulled me aside and said, daughter,
yes.
I want you to be the hands and the feet of Jesus in my church.
Hallelujah.
Right, so now I also work full-time in ministry.
Ooh, hallelujah.
So doing both, working in philanthropy, what I feel called to do, helping people steward their resources, but also I get a chance to steward people in the house of the Lord. So
yes. I love that. That leads me to what this episode is about. Y'all, it might have a question mark in the end when we say it, but we're talking about ready for ministry. Okay?
Ready for ministry.
With a question mark there for the person who is like, God called me into this. Was I ready? I don't know. But we actually come to affirm you a little bit that God's ready and your ready is a little different. Okay? You have to figure that out. We figured it out right now. We were ordained a few months ago. What was that?
In
October. We were ordained. Now we are ordained ministers, guys. Even when I say it, people call my name. They're like, minister. I'm like, y'all playing? I ain't nobody. Right. Oh, wait, I am. I'll come pray. Thank you.
Right. Literally, one of our coworkers wrote my name on the board the other day. Janai actually, and she wrote she was writing out initials, and she wrote MJS. I said, what is that? Who is that? And I said, oh, that's me.
Who is MJS?
Oh, Minister Jamesha Shackerford. Cool.
Oh, yes. I love it. It got a little ring to it. Okay, friend.
They got one.
Oh, so I'm going to ask you this question. Yeah. Were you ready for ministry for all of this that happened in your mind?
In my mind, I don't think that I even knew what ready was, right? I knew I had a call, the Lord burdened my heart for his people. And I was like, Lord, I am fine with being a high capacity volunteer. I'll take off work, I'll serve at the church, I'll do whatever. Yeah. But the ready for what he called me to do in this earth, I don't think I even knew what that looked like, what that meant. And honestly, I'm still figuring that out right now.
Right. Every day we kind of like, okay, this is what I learned as a minister today. It's almost like a journal. This is what I learned for ministry today. Like, yeah, it's beautiful.
I think being ready is like being okay with becoming what the Lord has said.
Yes, I love that. I think we have to go back even to the process of like ready. What does ready look like? How does God get us ready, right? So I told you that I met Jamesha in college. So let's go there, Jamesha. CC, okay, koalas. Okay, if you're a koala, go and leave a comment down in the bottom.
Okay. The fighting koalas.
The fight, because we fight, we sleep too. Because that's what they known for. Koalas known for sleeping, but we also get up and fight. Okay, so well rested. So let's talk about literally like getting ready, what that looks like, how God kind of did that through us. But even back to like college, right? So we met in college. We kind of knew of each other, right?
We knew each other in passing. My dance studio that I used to have rehearsal in at Columbia College Spears, in the Spears building, you were also in doing your whole like singing. Y'all, I knew her to be a girl who can sing, okay? Like I knew her name. And I was like, oh, she kind of cute. She was dressed up. Okay, be really dressed up. But I knew you first by your voice. And just seeing you, right?
I was like, ooh, okay.
But just like, I would come out of dance rehearsal. Y'all be in choir rehearsal. Like, I didn't really know gospel back there. I knew some gospel, but not like, y'all were singing gospel. Like, I was like, what them songs are? They are interrupting my dance rehearsal.
Yeah. Wait, but how does a girl who like, I ain't know no gospel or any of that end up being a whole minister working at a church full time? I know you're going to get into it, but I'm just like, wait a minute. See, this is what we talking about right here.
Right. So like with that, like that's how I saw it. That's how I was introduced and met you is in college. But yeah, that whole like, how do you go from I didn't grow up in church. Like that just wasn't my story. And also I am thankful that I didn't grow up in church, because some church folk out there who grew up in church, there's a lot of unlearning. Like I had to learn a lot of stuff, but I think it was God's grace and mercy that he knew me. He knew like, baby, I'm going to save you from having to unlearn some things, and I'll walk with you like hand in hand. Like my grandmother was a praying grandmother. My mom was a woman of God who, like, although we weren't in church every Sunday, she always emphasized us having a relationship with God.
Yes.
And like even like my grandmother on my dad's side, who I didn't really meet until maybe like 6 years ago, right before she passed away, like 2 weeks before she passed away is when I actually got to meet her. Like she was a praying woman. And I remember going into her hospital room and I was like, whoa, God, like I don't even know this woman like that. But I know her because I sensed like God on her. Woo. And I sensed like she was a praying grandma, and that sort of like rigor and praying towards the Lord lives on the inside of me. I was just surrounded by people who like loved God sincerely and emphasized having a relationship with him. So I think that journey of like, you may not be in church every day, but you got to have a relationship with the Lord is what kept me. Right. So when God called me, I was like, you right, bro, we got a relationship together. Let's do this thing.
So I want you to even kind of trace, like, how had you seen God? Like, because you don't just like arrive at just being a minister or a ministry. Like God is already kind of orchestrating and doing things all along. So like, how do you see like times when you were like, oh, I was kind of ministering in that moment, or oh, this actually was a part of my ministry, or oh, this, like all the different little interactions from like a childhood even to now. What's some things you've seen in that? And I kind of share that too, but what's some things you saw already that like, oh wait,
like the Lord really in me. I think I always have the personality of being an encourager. And I'm like, oh, I'm just like encouraging, optimistic. And I was like, no, like that's actually a spiritual gift. Literally. Like the ability to encourage is like something that's sent from the Lord. So like from growing up being an encourager to people to even like dance, because I danced from like middle school all the way through college. I still take a dance class here and there. But when I danced, it was really like a spiritual experience for me. Like I was dancing like to the Lord, So I think just like hearing people say, man, like your dance really like did something to my heart. And I'm like, okay, God, you know. And also like being with friends, and I always used to be called the mom of the group. That was annoying back in the day, but now I'm like, I'm actually grateful because
at least you a mom. They call me grandma. They was like, grandma. My friends and me call me like grandma. We know you ain't going nowhere tonight, but just pray for us real quick because you know we about to get into something. I'm like, grandma, let me be mama, please.
I was a mama, so like just being like encouraging and supporting my friends, and always speaking life into them. Like I saw it as encouragement. What the Lord was really doing was like allowing me to echo His heart to people around me. And then even like working in the field of philanthropy, which is like fancy word for saying charitable giving. It's just like people who give their money out to community. We all do it. You tithe in church, you're a philanthropist.
Right.
Just want to let you know that. I'm actually going to say it to the camera. You are a philanthropist. Okay. Yes.
I love that.
Like I always had a heart for like, man, how do I help people like give to community? And that's like the Lord calls us to be a cheerful giver.
Yes.
So it's just like the way that He made me echoed like how He wants to be known and seen in this earth. So it's just that those little by little moments that I was like, all right, Lord. And when I started serving in church, I was like, okay, like this is a little different than what I expected. I had some really good people walk alongside me and be like, baby girl, we ain't doing that, you know.
Right.
Let your word walk in integrity. Because y'all, I used to
Tell it.
when I first started serving in church, right? I was like, when I'm there, I'm there. When I'm not. Because, you know, when I'm not, I was in the world.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's like, if I had a long night, then like, I wasn't going out or anything like that. But I was, you know, a little sip, you know, or with my ex-boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I ain't got it. I signed up to serve, but I ain't got it today.
Right.
And I love this lady. Mama said, was like, baby.
Mama Saint gonna get you together, okay?
Every time. Mama Saint will get you together every time. She like just called me up and was like, you gotta let your word be your word.
Yeah.
Like it means something when you say you're gonna serve. And I think that's when my heart shifted to like, I'm not just volunteering. I think a lot of times when people are in ministry, they're like, I'm just gonna volunteer. This ain't the Red Cross.
Literally, like, baby, this ain't the world. Like,
This ain't the world.
you doing this unto God.
Unto God. And I think that was a shift when I had to realize what it meant to like live a life unto God, to serve Him, like everything unto Him and not to man.
Yeah.
I think that's like my journey, my shift is when all that happened. What about you though? How did you end up in ministry?
So I'm like the opposite, right? So my mom was a secretary of a church. Okay. And I was
one of them babies who was in there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
girl all the
Saturday,
time.
Sunday.
Even during the weekdays when the church wasn't there, she up there working. And let me tell y'all, I used to eat. When my mama would leave me up there starving, I would eat the communion crackers and I would drink the juice. And I'm gonna just put it out there because, like, God, I'm sorry that
I'm hungry.
I ate extra communion breads and extra of your body and extra of your blood. So maybe that's why I'm so anointed. People like, where the anointing came from? I was eating. I was eating extra body and extra blood, God, because I was hungry. I was in there starving. But that's how long I would be up there. My mom would be working, and she did all the tithing and load. She did all the programs. We didn't even have programs at church anymore. Like all the programs that told you the order of service and everything. And I would be up there, y'all. But I would leave her. I would go to the sanctuary, Jamesha, and I would preach sermons. I would sing. I would do the whole church service. Amen. My mama used to be like, your message actually was kind of good today. I was like, oh my God, you heard me. Like, and I'm up there going in. Okay, I done did the whole service. My pastor would walk in. He would sneak and listen to me and be like, all right, you did good today. You know, that was me. Like, and then of course I grew up. But the crazy part is like, I was that, but then I also wanted some of the world. Like, I was like, oh, they doing fun stuff over there. Like, oh, they going out. Oh, they doing this. So I was exposed to a lot of stuff earlier than I should have been. Like, baby, by the time I was of age to be drinking and going to the club, I was like, God, I give my life to you. And he like, and my friend like, we just getting started, girl. This is my first drink I ever had. And I'm like, baby, I lay it down. I'm here with God now. I've done enough. Like, I'm tired. Listen, done it all. Like, literally, I got a list for you. And I was like, 21. That was a cutoff for me. I was no longer a savage. Okay. So I was like, my time was up. And so all throughout that, I kind of had that fight of like, do I want to be cool and like fit in with the people that's over here, or like, do I want to be this Jesus girl? And then I remember like meeting people like Pastor Jackie, who was like, you could be this Jesus girl and be cool. Like, if you want to wear a little shoulder, you still saved. You know, if you want to, and I'm just like, oh God, like, like somebody get me, you know, because I'm like, I'm somewhere between like, you know, like, let me see, Sarah Jakes and like Megan Good. Like, I like to dress like Megan Good, dude, but I like to, you know, but you know, God, like, well, I like to pray like Sarah, you know, I like to call down fire too. But so I met her when I was in college, and you know, I met her and Pastor Travis, and like even prior to meeting them, the Lord literally was like, get yourself together. And I was like, for what? What's coming? Like, what's coming? You know, like that. And he was just like, some people are about to see you, they're about to notice you, and you got to be in order. And I was just like, I'm in order, you know, like that. So he literally told me, and this was somebody, he literally told me to go and delete every old picture that did not align with who I was right now or where I saw myself going. So even if it was something as small as like me standing in a bathing suit, like he literally was like, just let it go. Like, go ahead and just get rid of it. Like,
just the let it go part.
Like, let it go, baby, let it go. And so I even lost friends because what I used to do and what, you know, I would go out and be my baby. I'm like, y'all, I can't take my cover up off and take no photos. We can do them with the cover ups on, you know, like, and they like, oh, she thinks she better. Oh, she thinks, and I'm just like,
it's like, I'm not being better, I'm being obedient.
Oh, girl, that just knocked the wind out of me. I'm not being better, I'm being obedient. Like, and even if the thing is like, oh, I'm getting better, like if I use some friends who gonna applaud you as you're getting better, like, and this is why you been stuck out this long. Like, it would be times I would tell you like, okay, God pivoted me and he kind of said this, he kind of said that, and you just like, all right, girl, well, if that's where we going, I'm with you. Like, a transparent moment is my marriage, right? So y'all, I'm gonna tell it.
This is good.
I'm gonna tell it. Please let me tell. I'm just kidding. So literally, y'all, I am in my relationship with my now husband, and you know, my roommate tells me like, "Hey, girl, like, I decided not to renew the lease, so you got like 2 weeks to figure out where you're going, all these different things." And so you know, he was my boyfriend at the time, and he just like, "I ain't gonna let you be out there nowhere, so we can move in together." Now, it was not my first intention. Let me just say that. It was not my first intention to be like, I'm about to go live with a man. But when you had, like, you just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. God, I prayed about it, and I was just like, I ain't heard nothing back from you. I'm going over there. Then I started having nightmares out of nowhere, okay? I started having nightmares, just all these different things, different feelings. And I'm at church. We at Forest City on LeGrand, okay? And literally, PJ up there preaching. She's not even preaching about anything that is going on. But I hear God telling me, like, baby, you gotta obey. Like, this ain't gonna work. Like, you're not like everybody else. You can't just do what you want to do. Like, I have a special like anointing, a special grace. Like, okay, you got to be in order. And I literally was like, I texted Jamesha, and because I knew that she had. I was like, I know she got a house. I know she may have a room for me. Let me see. I text her, and within a minute, she like, let me check. I got another roommate. Let me check with her. And if she said it's fine, you get your stuff and you get over there tonight or whatever like that. And I literally was like, okay, I'm really gonna do this thing. And I had to go home and be like, I don't know if this is in this relationship. I don't know if this is like, but God said that I got to go. And I'm gonna operate off that God said. Like, and that right there is enough to be like,
that's enough.
That's enough. Like, God said it, that's it, or whatever that. Because I'm married to the same person, but the Lord literally was like, because of your obedience. Like, but like, if I would have disobeyed, I don't know. I mean, God could still do certain things, but I know that was a part of how he walked out that marriage, because I was married months after that. I literally heard the Lord when I went over to your house. I went upstairs and I'm crying and everything like that, and the Lord was like, you can be married in a couple months. And I was like, excuse me? You just told me to move out of this man's house. You told me to leave. I thought we broke up. I thought this was it. You know, and literally, I mean, it was a whole situation. But the part of that that's so beautiful is, like, even your house is ministry.
In my house, y'all, let me tell you about this story. So I was, 24, and I was like, I want to buy a house. It's just a thought that came up. Nobody else in my family, like, owns a home, right? And I was like, I just want to do it. So it's not like something I like just naturally have seen done, but I knew it's something that like in my heart was possible. I went to like a home buying class, first time homeowners class in October. I left that class being like, it was a whole day. Like it was a long day. But that speaks to like, if the Lord has said something about where you want to go, you have to go seek it out.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he'll drop it, and then sometimes he's like, all right, I'm gonna put you the inclination in your heart, but I need you to do the work to move.
Yeah.
So I went to the class. I looked at class and been like 24 years old with like $500 in my bank account at the moment.
Yeah.
Baby, I was living paycheck to paycheck, okay? And I was like, I'm gonna buy a house. I was like, I've never seen it done before, but here's a resource, and I'm just gonna trust the Lord. And going through the process, long story short, going through the process of buying the house, I kept hearing the Lord say, at least 2 bedrooms, at least 2 baths, and like close to like downtown. Like you can walk,
details.
right? Like it was a desire, like a desire that he placed in my heart. And it was like details, but when I would verbally speak those out to certain people, it was like, girl, why you need that much house? It's just you. Or like, ooh, like you want that house, you want to live near downtown, but you're only like, you only have $125,000 to purchase a house. Like, how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Do you know how much houses cost? And I was like, okay, so I hear this, I go on the whole journey, put an offer in on 4 homes, settling on all 4 of them. Settling, all 4 of them fell through.
Ooh.
Like, I remember there was one time I put over the asking amount for the house, and it still fell through.
Listen.
And I got a call from my realtor. Not realtor, excuse me. I got a call from my loan officer, and she was like, have you looked at these homes in this neighborhood? And I'm like, woman, you know how much them houses cost? They're like $153 or something $1,000.
Right.
And I was like, you know, I only have $125,000. And she was like, well, we have this forgivable loan program that we will actually fund you the rest of the money. We'll close the gap for you.
Close the gap.
And I was just like, what? Like, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
This is a hoax. Like, you know when stuff sounds
Right, you like,
too good to be true. But oftentimes, and that's a side story, oftentimes with the Lord, when he's showering down his abundance, we'll be like, God, this is too good to be true.
listen.
We pray for abundance, but we don't know how to receive it.
Girl, that's the season I'm walking through right
That
now.
right there, the Lord be like, here,
You
like
can have that.
you can have that. You can have this desire, yep, this want, yep. And I'm like, I had to get used to being in a place where I was like, okay, God, this feels impossible. I'm not gonna assume that it's not true. I'm gonna continue walking in your word. Closed on the house, moved in. It's been like a transitional house. Like that's what the Lord gave me. Like Jamesha, your house is a transitional house for people.
Yes.
And when my Danielle, my first friend, came in, she was transitioning. She was graduating from USC graduate school, had a job in DC. She stayed for like 2 months, and then after that, I think there was like one other person that stayed after her, and then my friend Bree came, and she was like, the Lord told me that I need to save up money. I'm gonna be leaving Columbia soon, and I was like, I have a room for Indy, and is in Nashville.
Okay, period.
Okay, I'm so proud of her. Meaning you were the 4th person. And like it was all because the Lord had built the muscle of obedience, and He has built the muscle of me realizing that my house was not mine.
Listen,
Like it's mine, and I paid the mortgage on it, but it's His.
everything belonged to him. Like,
Everything belonged to Him. But because I had already conditioned myself to be obedient in the way, when you like text me, I was like, let me just check with my roommate. But my heart was already like, of course. And honestly, if my roommate would have said something, it would have been like, girl, I just said it to be polite. Because y'all be sharing the bathroom upstairs, you know. Right. I was just trying to be considerate. But like the Lord had already conditioned my heart to say yes to Him. So when you moved in, when you asked me, I was like, man, my sis wants to obey the Lord. Like, and if I could ever be in a place where I could help somebody obey the Lord, regardless or not, like, if she was living a certain way, because we hung out when you was living, you know.
Right.
And it was just like, man, like it was just something beautiful to see you like move off of the word of the Lord, and also beautiful to see me like be like, all right, baby, you coming home tonight?
oh yeah, let me tell you, accountability. That you want to know what ministry really look like? Learning how to like accept accountability, learning how to obey the Lord. All the stuff we talking about, like learning how to receive abundance. Like this is what ministry is. Like, so it's not this place that like, oh, you get this oil on your head on this day. It's like the whole time God has been preparing you. So I had to learn how to walk with accountability because I want to do what I wanted to do. But God is like, baby, you don't get to do that. Like you don't get to do that.
And that was so good because even like how the Lord was having me hold you accountable. I still was in the world, okay? And the Lord be like, baby, now you being obedient and telling her, but let me talk to you real quick.
Get it together.
You know, you may not be living with you sleeping with them. I said, oh, you're right, Lord. I am. That's not what you desire.
You're right.
Yeah, because it's so easy to be like, oh, well, I'm not doing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and even the word talks about it. Like, don't try to get the speck out of your eye your friend's eye when you got a log in yours,
baby. Yeah.
Baby, the Lord was like, be obedient, baby, but you got a log.
Listen,
You got a log.
you gotta move.
And as I am helping you walk with her in accountability, this is also holding you to accountability.
Let's talk about that too, because some people don't even know what their obedience is doing for another person. Yeah. So I think about even my story of buying a home. You know, we moved in with some friends, and the whole time I'm just like, we ain't got our own space, we ain't got whatever. Like, God, we obeying you, because we moved back from St. Louis, like because the Lord told us to move back home and come be back at our church and be back under our covering, and you know that He had stuff for us here. So we came back, moved back, and we like, okay, God, we need a place to go. We, you know, what we gonna do? And so our friends, you know, they invited us in and moved in. And, you know, one day she was just expressing how grateful it was that I had obeyed and lived in their home. Like, you know, and you're not even thinking about, like, they're like, our marriage is closer. Like, you know, like, you know, just certain things that you're not even thinking about. Like, you know, the joy that their son has. Like, he loves seeing you every day. Like, you're not thinking about that in the moment. Like, you thinking like, okay, God, this was my yes, and this is what I had to do, and I'm going through the journey. Like, and you don't even know that sometimes He's positioning you also to bless the person. Like, you know, like, like hearing that story now, like, of you sharing that, like, I don't know if we ever really got that deep into it, but it's like, oh man, like my yes is connected to your yes. And so imagine me not doing my part like that, and then you still like, okay, I'm gonna be a minister soon, but I still do what I want to do. Like, you know, like, but God was already shaping you because He knew where you were going.
He knew where I was going. He needed, like, He put me in proximity with someone He was also pulling. Right? Ooh. Like, that's the thing. I remember I heard, we were somewhere together recently. Was that church? Somewhere. And it was, I can't remember if it was church. Maybe it was, I don't know. But it was like, what's okay for other people is not okay for you. And I was just like, okay, so God, I got other friends who are like, you know, they trying to live right. Right? They actually are trying. But they like me at that moment. We not being successful.
Right.
And then, like, here I have this other friend who made the move to live right. Right? So it's just like, for me, the Lord was like, you can, like, see the fruit of someone who actually moved and made like a drastic change, who like literally, like, you love that man. Yeah. Like, who's like, Lord, like, I love him, but I don't love him more than I love you.
Period.
Right? And it was just also, it taught me too, like, you want to prepare yourself to be a wife, but you over here acting like a girlfriend.
Period.
Or you act like not even a girlfriend. You act like just the homie on the side. Right? So like, seeing you walk as like your preparation to become a wife was just like, okay, God, there's some stuff in my current life that is not in alignment with what you desire for me and how you desire for me to walk as a wife. It was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, wow. That's what I was like. So I'm hearing some of this for the first time. So I'm literally just like overwhelmed. Like, it's just beautiful to even like hear the whole thing. And I'm actually grateful to God for like withholding. So when, like, the moment comes and you just like, man, so you can get that all again about the situation. Like, you like, oh, because you can look at the bad thing, or like I was living with my boyfriend and I was da-da-da like that. But almost dismiss the obedience and the part that it took. Like, that makes it a more beautiful story. Like, all of that is like, it's not, you know, nothing to be ashamed about. It's the beautiful part that, like,
the beautiful part of it that we can. God did a lot, and God was there. Like, He was still using you in ministry there. Like, and He was still using me in ministry, even in my mess. So, like, that's also a thing. Like, our mess doesn't disqualify us. Now, like, that doesn't give us a reason to be in mess. Okay. That does not give you a reason to be in mess.
We looking at you.
Okay? We just need you to be in order unto the Lord.
We don't want messy ministry, okay?
No more messy ministry, because you bleed on others.
Going around now, around
with all kind of crazy stuff happening.
Messy ministry, no.
That's not what we saying.
That's not what we saying at all. But what we are saying is that God is full of patience. He's kind. Like, it is His love that draws us to conviction.
Yes.
Like, even in our own desire to obey him is nothing compared to his Holy Spirit placing that desire in us to obey him. Yes. I think when God showed me, Jamesha, you cannot want me by yourself.
Yes.
Like, I literally am the one that gives you the desire to want to do right. So even as I saw you walk out that journey, and I still was like, all right, God, I'm trying to do this thing. Oh, I slipped up. Oh, I'm trying to do this thing. It was his love that drew me back in. And then being surrounded by people, women of faith, that's like, baby, you can keep going.
Yeah.
You can keep going. This doesn't stop you. This doesn't disqualify you. But you must remember what God's standard is.
That right there.
He has a standard.
He has a standard. And sometimes we don't like God's standard, right?
We don't like
We want to settle.
Right.
We be like, I want your best. But I want to settle but I don't want your standard. I want your best, but I don't want your standard. And it's that part right there.
She preach, okay.
This is my favorite. This is our regular time. We go for 1 minute kiki, and the next minute we like, girl, this is what God wants. We like, yes, this is what God wants. He want me to give him this.
He want me to. I'll give it to you again, God. And that's why I think that's where I'm at right now. And it's like, God, in everything, I want your standard. In the health of my body, I want your standard, right? So that means, girl, don't get that Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Listen.
Get the salad. You may not be up to get the salad today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I want his standard. My body's a temple, so I want his standard for what the temple is. If it's like, girl, go work out. Ooh, I don't feel like working out. I don't work all day, Lord.
Listen.
I don't work all day. My brain has brained. But if your standard is that my body is healthy enough to be the hands and feet, I want your standard.
I want your standard. Oh, that's so good. That's something I want to kind of dive into a little bit too. Is the discipline that, because people think I gotta be this disciplined person, but God and the Holy Spirit actually unctions you to. So people think I just get up and work out because I do love it. Now I've grown to love it, and you can pray and ask God to love it. That's something. Because
I prayed and I said, God, help me not hate my body. Help me not hate the desire to work out. Because if you're trying to just force yourself to do something without the Holy Spirit, you can will yourself to do it, but for so long.
Listen. And you wonder why you keep starting journeys, going off on and on.
But it's literally, it was a prayer. God, I actually don't want to work out and be motivated by my body looking a certain way. I want to be healthy. I want you to place a desire in me to be I'm going to choose the better thing.
Yeah. You know, the Lord told me, he was like, Iman, your energy is your ministry.
Yeah.
And if you know me, you know I run across the street. I'm going.
This is my agreement.
Right. This is my agreement. Right. All the energy, all the things happening and whatever like that. And he was like, literally, it ain't even just about what you say.
Yeah.
It's about how you show up. Yeah. And if you're always tired, you're always fatigued, everything hurting, everything going on, like you can't bring that energy like that. Because I minister through all of you. That's a part of it too. Everything about you ministers. When you're a minister, everything about you. When we show up in certain rooms, we doing certain things. We could be just eating a meal and all of a sudden we we need to go pray for her. Or we need to we need to go give this girl, bless her. Our lives minister. And so the Lord is literally your energy and how you show up is prophetic. It does something. It shifts rooms. Yeah. So I need you to commit to this and grow to love it because it has to be your lifestyle so that you can be this minister. So you can be this thing. And so I'm curious what other disciplines God has been unctioning you. He has me on a whole journey I'm calling my 75 kind journey, right? And so because it's not hard to be disciplined. Yeah. When we hear those different things, and I know people have done 75 hard, I'm not knocking that. Yeah. But I'm a person who fish for language. Yeah. I don't want to say I'm doing this challenge and it's so hard to get out of bed and go to work out. It's so hard to read a chapter of a book. It's so hard to drink water every day. It's not hard. It ain't easy, but if that's what God wants for me, then it's good. And when I do these things, it's kind to myself. It's loving to myself when I take care of my temple. It is good. And so I'm on this journey. So, I'm drinking my water every day. I'm going to the gym. I'm reading a book. I'm reading my Bible. So I kind of make my own little different standards. But I'm curious, what's some other things that God has, have you doing right now as you're even preparing more to do ministry this year?
Yes, it's two things. One, like the Lord recently has put an appetite to teach his word. And that's not anything like, if y'all know me, I'm like, I want to help people. I'm a systems girl. I'm an encourager. Like, I can build a team. But like, he was like, daughter, I want you to teach my word and teach it with the voice I've given you. Because y'all probably will hear, I can get real country. Okay. Yeah. I can get real country and I'll make up words.
Yes. Okay. She do.
And I'll make up words. So one of the disciplines, one of the areas that he's calling me to grow in is reading his word. And not just like reading for reading's sake, but have a curiosity in his word. Like, just as much as I'm watching my favorite show on TV and I'm like, ooh, what's about to happen? Or, ooh, what's going on? Or like, why did that person back here to do that? Yeah. The Lord is like, I need you to be curious about my word. So it's like, I'm like, Lord, okay, teach me to have curiosity. Because curiosity is not just a questioning if it's true. Curiosity for me in this journey is like, Lord, show me what else you're saying in this passage. You know, what do you want me to know about the conditions of the people that you were speaking to in this moment?
So good.
Right? So like, that's one area, reading the word and growing deeper in that. And then another area is like leadership. Like, I can lead people, right? Yeah. But the Lord is like expanding my capacity to lead in multiple arenas. And like, that's like in the church, outside of the church. And I'm just like, Lord, I want to just do one thing. So he's like, he's really tilling the soil of like, I didn't create you to do just one thing. So like, I'm like working on right now, unlearning like the mindset to do one thing and do it well. And the Lord's like, no, I actually created you to do multiple things.
And well.
And well. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's the and well.
Okay. Because you start doing a lot, you be like, hold up, God. Something going to fall if I don't.
If I don't hold it up. If I don't carry it. And he was like, no, daughter, I'm holding it up. Because if you hold it up, it's going to fall every time.
Yes. And you know what God dealt me about with that thing is that that's a part of like poverty mindset. And poverty mindset is something that I have been actively working to break off of myself. And I thought it was just money. So of course we were personal at home and we, you know, this faith stuff and we believed God. And then God was just like, there's still some of that there. Yeah. And it's showing up in even my lack of wanting to do this, because I felt like, God, I may not have enough. Like, I'm already trying to do ministry. I'm already trying to do these things. I'm already like adding this, and I'm a wife, and I'm like, I can't even have no kid right now because if I have a child, like, I'm just not gonna have enough. And the Lord was just like, hey, baby, that's poverty mindset. Yeah. Like, it started with money, because you grew up in poverty, and I did. Like, my mom, she worked hard. She, she never let us really know that we was struggling the way we were struggling. But when I got a little old, about 16, I was like, I need to get a job to help out because we got what I thought we had, just all the things like that. And I was like, okay, but I was that girl that was like, I got to get this money by tomorrow. Okay. I'm literally like, I'll work 3 jobs. I'll do this. I'll do that. So it wasn't that I wouldn't do multiple things, but the reason was because of the poverty. Like, and the Lord was just like, I need you to do it just because I already gave you enough. Like, you're more than enough. Like you got more than enough capacity, more than enough mental health, more than enough emotional health. Like, I'm going to sustain you. I'm going to carry you. I'm going to keep you as long as you keep your eyes on me. Come on. And I was like, God, what I got to do with poverty? And he was like, because you happen to believe that you lack something and you lack no good thing.
No good thing.
Like, and I'm like, oh,
we lack no good thing. That poverty mindset is real. Like, I grew up similar. I didn't realize that, like, I grew up in poverty until, like, I got a little older and I started asking my mom questions. Yeah. And because she created a household that I didn't feel like it. But I would never forget. I was like 15, 16.
Yeah, you start getting that age.
You get that age, you're like, why are we going to Harvest Hope? Like, Mama, like, I literally remember telling my mama one day, I'm like, Mom, why are we going to Harvest Hope to get this food box? We don't need this. Right. This food box for people who actually need it. Right. And later on, I'm like, baby, like, Mama did need it. Like, you needed it. You needed everything in that food box that Harvest Hope was providing. But even, like, growing up in an environment like that where you are around poverty and like certain mindsets are on you. Like, even like, again, my mom like worked really, really hard. But like what I saw from that was like, you put your head down and you work. Right? Yeah. Like, baby, I love you, but I ain't got time to sit here and be like, I love you. Right? Like, because I need to go out and sustain and provide for you. And it wasn't until later on, like, once I got like out of college, like me and my mom now have like a like, girl, I actually love you type of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing how like even in my job now, I mean, you know, like the Lord has done abundantly.
Abundantly. I'm still praying for the abundantly that's on this woman. Like, okay, you hear me?
He has done abundantly. Money does not change your ability to enjoy even like things that you see as luxuries. Like, and luxuries could be anything. Your luxury could be walking in the park, right? So I think this like coming out of poverty, the Lord was like, girl, money don't change poverty mindset. Because you can be like, you can have more, but you can feel like you have less, baby, because you have less because you're not stewarding my money. Right. And because like at the end of the day, more is more. So it taught me in that moment to ask them questions.
Yeah.
And I think that what's one thing with ministry I'm learning is you gotta ask the Lord a lot more questions. Like, and not that we didn't need to ask him before.
Right.
You at a different level. Like you don't like literally you was in high school, you at college now. There's a different expectation.
Right. There's a different
for you.
Expectation and like recognizing that your life is not your own.
Listen.
Like, my life is not my own. I can't just do whatever. I really got to ask the Lord permission to, like, text a person.
Yeah.
I really got to ask the Lord permission even to say yes to the things that I love. Right? Because I recognize that every yes I give should draw me closer to being obedient.
Yeah.
And if it's a yes that I give that's not closer to obedience, it's closer to disobedience.
Ooh.
Like, there is no, like, in between.
Help.
Like... It's just like, it's no in between. Like,
and we think it is though. Like, well, I didn't do bad, so God. And he's like, you didn't do what I said.
Right, you didn't do what I said, so it's still disobedient.
Yeah.
So like that's what I think I'm learning really in this step of like, okay, Lord, when you called me to be a minister, I didn't know what that was. I'm still figuring out. Right.
We was in the email like, girl, hello? This church, do they know what they did?
Us. We were like, so you got the email too?
I think I saw your name in the top.
Right, I think I saw your
look at the names like, is that my friend?
Right.
And but the crazy part is we kept saying we felt something. We kept like we felt a shift, something happening. We don't know what it is.
So
I'm about to get in my Bible because I feel something shaking up. And
we felt like the Lord was calling us to like know Him and know His Word, and not just leave on Sundays and be like, that was a great Sunday experience.
Yeah.
But like, no, baby. But what is the Word saying to you? Not like just what are the words? Not just what the words are that the pastor preached, but what is the Lord saying to you?
yes. And what is your assignment from that? I think a lot of people, they leave the sermon there. Like, okay, you hear a great sermon or whatever like that. And it's like, okay, there's some application somewhere in that. Like, so what is my assignment, God, from what I heard? Like, so I try to even do that, like, now. Like, okay, I heard this message. Yeah. This was great. Like, last week, I think, was something is about to happen. Yeah. Or whatever like that. So I'm like, okay, God, what's about to happen? Yeah. What do I need to do? I got these things right here. It talks about like how to wait, keep me in the right heart posture to wait, keep me in da-da-da-da. Like, so all these different things. And I'm just like, cool. So let me see these little nuggets that I took out, and let me not just be like, okay, that's good. Yeah. How do you want me to apply these nuggets that are sticking out to me? Like, okay, the Lord, like, you don't wait well. Oh.
Yeah. Mine was around like the example that he gave around like what are you listening to? Like what noise is around you.
So good.
And it may not be like something that's super loud, but it's something that's interfering with you hearing from the whisper. It's interfering with you hearing a whisper from the Lord.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, God, I may not have stuff that's loud around me anymore, but there are some things that's blocking whispers. And like I need to be able to like allow you to examine my heart. Ain't what the word say?
Yeah.
Search my heart, Lord, clean out anything that's not like you, something, and leave me alone the path. That
There you
scripture.
go. That's perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Translation, my favorite.
Right. This I'll be like, Lord, you want me to teach your word? He'll be like, yeah, just like that. But you're gonna know the scriptures, but
You'll know it.
You'll know it, but keep going. But it was like, okay, Lord, I need you to search my heart and like remove whispers. I mean, remove anything that's blocking
Your
my
whispers.
whispers. 'Cause I think in seasons, and I'm not sure if you feel this way, the Lord will be speaking loud, like, do this, like, leave this, like, you know, shift your job, like, you know, in this relationship. Like, all these were like big things that I feel like the Lord was speaking loudly. But as I grow in ministry, and I said, when I mean grow in ministry, I mean like as I like come into alignment with what He already spoken. That's what ministry is. Ministry is like you just come into alignment with what the Lord has already spoken over your life.
Yes.
It's not just like being ordained, which is a blessing and a calling.
Listen, I was hoping we would get there. Perfect. I love this.
But it's your entire life.
Yeah.
Right?
We were ministers prior to the ordination happening, okay?
Big
Just want to say that. Just want to say that. Now, the oil on our head did add a little extra.
Yeah.
A little, but I will say, we've been, like, what you see, didn't like, shift. We actually were ordained because we were already doing the thing.
Already doing the thing. And the Lord is like, now it's time. Right? So I think right now in ministry, the Lord is like, okay, I'm not going to always yell it to you. Now I'm going to actually be whispering things. So if you're like, if like the whispers to me, like something the Lord is saying to me lately is like, you need to watch how you say words.
Yes.
And I'm like, God, I encourage people. And He like, you do, and your tongue is sharp sometimes.
Yeah.
And you may not cuss, but it does not echo my heart.
Yeah. Woo.
And I think like just, and anybody who want to be in ministry, you gotta be willing to like obey the small whispers that you still like aren't a big deal.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel like it was a big deal for me to. We're gonna be honest. Okay?
Yeah, we're gonna be honest.
So like the Lord
We
was
ready.
like, we ready. The Lord was like, hey Jamesha, yeah, when you're like talking and dating a guy, like he can't come to your house.
Period.
I was like, God, but I'm comfortable at my house. Like, you know, it's just I can obey. Like we here, Lord. I got accountability. Like we here. And the Lord was like, it's just you can't do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful, like, in that order. And I did do it for a little bit, and then I got real close, and the Lord was like, see what I tell you.
I know you,
I
Lord.
know you know
I know you.
And I was like, oh, Lord, you didn't know me.
Ain't got nothing to do with that man. I know you.
I know you, right. You know, because we quick. We
Okay,
quick to blame somebody else.
He was trying to brush. Girl,
Right.
you was leaning over.
You was leaning
the whole
over.
time. Why
You
wore
were
that shirt,
ready.
man? Why you wore that
Right.
shirt? You put on that dress for a reason.
Right.
Me.
Right. So like the Lord is basically like in ministry, the Lord's like, if you can't hear the small whispers that don't seem like a big deal to you,
Yeah.
you have to realize that my ways are above my ways, my thoughts are above my thoughts. So I would tell people, if you're not even willing to obey the Lord in those things, stay where you at.
Listen, I'm telling you, the Lord literally had told me one of the days, because I was like, God, even like to the point of this podcast, this vlog, or whatever else God want to do with it, right? I literally was sitting down, and I literally, even right now, man, I just took a minute to just kind of like think about it, like, this could not be a thing if I would have chose distraction. Yeah. And so I was sitting at home on the couch, and I literally was trying to log into HBO Max. Somebody was like telling me about a show, whatever like that. And my cousin was like, girl, you can use mine, da-da-da. So it wasn't working. And I was about to text her and be like, girl, it's not working. Please send me the right thing. I'm trying to watch this show. Yeah. And as I was writing it, the Lord was like, stop searching for more distraction. And I was literally like, God, I watch TV all the time. Like, and if you know me, I watch TV. Like, I can finish an episode. I can finish a series in one night. Maybe like Queen Charlotte came out. I ain't gonna say no lie. See, I'm honest. I watched the thing in one night. I stayed up, and then I was tired at work because I stayed up all night. So I watched the whole thing, and I know I shouldn't be watching Queen Charlotte. I know. I'm doing better now with my shows, and I'm doing better. Okay,
We doing better.
we're doing better. See, honesty. Like, but even in that moment, like, the Lord was just like, stop searching for more distraction. Like, I'm trying to give you something, and I'm sitting in what He gave me right now. Like, so I'm thinking about the fact that if I had not, like, just sat there, like, He literally was like, don't turn the TV on, just sit here for a minute. And I was sitting in silence, and I was just like, okay, God, I'm ready. What you want to do? Like, almost to the point of tears, like, what you want to do? Like, I just want to watch TV. I just want to be regular. Like, and He was like, no, I'm trying to tell you something. And I sat there, He said, take out a note. And I started writing what I'm sitting in right now. Like, I wrote every single episode, every single thing, like write down, like this is what we're gonna talk about. And the Lord was like, baby, there's a calling on your life to get people ready. Like there's an assignment over that. And I was like, well, how do I do that? I feel like I'm not ready. And he was like, you just walk them through what you walking through right now. He was like, you talking through how you made it here, how you're getting there. Turn your TV off. You know, this is that. This is how I hear a whisper. You letting your friends share their story of how they got where they got. Like your pastor, all the different things, like all the stuff you'll see is literally from the moment I just was like, okay, God, I want to hear your whisper.
Yeah, like it's from obedience. Like we can't get away from obedience. And like as you were talking, I like literally was hearing like ministry is also discipleship. It's being a disciple and also like discipling others. So I just encouragement for people who want to be in ministry, but you don't want to disciple or be disciple, baby. You don't want to be in ministry.
You don't want to be in ministry.
You don't want to be in ministry. It's like it's all for God.
You gotta want to smell like sheep.
You gotta want to smell like sheep, right? And the Lord like will give you wisdom to be like, you can smell like sheep but not act like them. Like David smelled like sheep. But David wasn't over there gnawing on grass.
Right. And I think the beautiful part about that is like, you know, you can see this and I'm like all dressed up and I'm all glammed up. Because a lot of times people see this stuff and then they're like, oh, well, see, they there. They got it. They da-da-da. But like, the honesty is like, I have to muscle it up to get it together. I had to like get the boldness, get the strength, like pick up everything I needed to do whatever that. And I'm like, oh, why? Like, and the Lord is like, because you about to get in the field. Not because you about to be on the stage and you about to be promoted. Not because you getting a trophy or nothing like that. Like, he literally like, I need you to get to work. Like, I need you to start plowing. Like, I'm giving you a seed. What you gonna do with it? Like, this is literally a seed. Like, I'll send water if you start planting it in the ground. If you start doing what you need to do. If like, and so literally, that I was like, this is what this is. Like,
this is what this is.
That's ministry.
That's ministry.
What you do with seeds matter. Will you get in the field? Will you smell like sheep?
Will you smell like sheep? Will you allow yourself to pour into someone who is not pouring back into you? And trust that God will send people that will pour into you.
It makes me stand up in a different way. It makes me see myself in a different way. Like, man, God called me and trusted me with this. Like, but I also know that I'm prepared because he's been doing like all the stuff I'm walking out. I told you how I grew up, all the different things like that. Like, he was like, you was already preaching messages, baby. Always then. It was always in you. You saw how your mom was a secretary. It's stuff that I pulled even now that I'm like, oh, I watched my mama do that. And she did that spreadsheet and she did whatever like that. Like, all the things that it was like, I've been like, you thought it was just passing moments. Like, it was passing moments and you thought like, oh, this is my life and this is just happening. And he like, no, I needed you to experience this. Even the things that I didn't think was good. Like, you know, my experience with my father, all the like, he was like, I needed you to be able to connect with some girls on that level. I needed you to go through some different experiences. And I'm just like, why me, God? At the time, like, why me, God? And he like, because there's somebody.
That's so good that you bring that up. I'm just grateful, like, that the Lord called me to ministry. Like, it, like, ministry meaning like when I say ministry is a whole life, right? But like I'm grateful that he called me to ministry in his church because I think it's not something I would have naturally gone after. Like I'm grateful for friends like you, for people around who was like, nah, like there's something in you. There's something in you. I still get that today. I'll be like, baby,
there's so much more. I was like, oh yeah. What about this?
Baby, there's so much more. Not today. And then one prophecy at a time. Sight, Lord, I will receive everything. Y'all, sometimes you got to receive everything. But I'm so grateful that the Lord is like, daughter, I called you to do this because you will echo my heart. So anybody who want to be in ministry, if you're not willing to echo God's heart and only his heart, like the Lord literally walked with Judas.
Literally.
Like he walked with the person that betrayed him. Like, so if you can't even walk with somebody that you got an attitude with in your office right now, like I don't want to work with them because I don't want to work with them on this project. I don't really like them right now. Baby, you ain't echoing his heart.
Listen, and I've been there more recently. I've been there. It's like, you know, I've been there. Okay. Like, and even when you brought up that point, I was just thinking just about like how the Lord had to deal with me. Like it's not okay for you to kick and scream. Like I expect a certain level of maturity in you or whatever like that. Like, so, and I've been working on this for a long time. So I need you to show up I need you to show up different. I need you to learn how to use different language in situations like this. I need you to speak up. Like, I need you to whatever. And I'm like, speak up. Like, but I don't want to come off this way. I don't want to like. But that speaking up even remind me that I was just able to have a conversation that was so deep and so just transparent and beautiful, like yesterday. But I wouldn't have seen that coming had I not, obeyed the Lord. When he was just like, baby, you don't get to be like, no, depart from me, I don't know you. You don't get to do that. Like, you don't get to do that. Like, and I'm just like, oh God, but I just think about just what he sees. And it was like that. Like, so I even had to pray that, like, Lord, show me all that you see. Like, all that you see, like, the goodness in this person, like, stuff I haven't even opened my eyes to experience because this blocker.
That helped me with family. I know, like, I with family because, I was like, I'm a Jesus girl. So, like, when the Lord, like, really turned my heart, I was like, bruh, we in there. Y'all get a little hood. I'm like, look, we in there. And so, like, when it came to me related, there was a period of my life I felt like I couldn't relate to my family members. I felt like I was too much of, like, too churchy, too whatever. Right? And a part of it was because it was like I was pushing Jesus down their throat. And then also a part of it was, like, them just not knowing this new me. They stayed in a different state at that moment. So, like, it's just they didn't get to experience the evolution of like me becoming sold out for the Lord. But it was a moment with one of my sisters, and I was just like get annoyed with certain things, and the Lord was like, I don't want to get on her. I want to talk about you.
Listen.
Like, and the Lord was like, you have to ask me to see her how I see her. And I tell you, like, when the Lord allowed me to see my sister the way he sees her, our relationship shifted. It changes everything. Like, because you think our relationship with the Lord, he's not about us like behavior modifications or like just playing a role. Like, he's about heart transformation, but through relationship. So even the people that I walk with in life, like, I don't want behavior modifications. I want the Lord to come in to do a heart transformation. So, like, here I am annoyed because it's week or month 6 and I ain't seen no transformation. And the Lord is like, baby, this is my child.
And think about yourself.
That part. Oftentimes we don't want to think about ourselves.
You know how long it took you?
And some people, God will tell you, like, okay, release, like, you hurting yourself. You hurting yourself. But then there's also a time when it's like, he's like, baby, you don't walk through the same thing. And just, like, give them the grace that I extended to you. Like, you got to look like Jesus.
You got to look like him, having his patience, having his, like, eyesight and views. Like, that's why when the Lord said we need to renew our mind, it's not a suggestion. It's like, no, bro, you got to renew your mind. We'll be telling them to do the right thing, but our motives will be like wrong. And yes, they might produce in doing the right thing, but Lord be like, yeah, I'm grateful for them, but baby, I don't care. I don't receive what you did.
Right.
Like, what you did was like out of bad motivation. What you did was like, oh, I wanted them to lead that person, and I know they should lead that person because I knew it. I knew that person wasn't this. I knew that person wasn't that. The Lord is like, you gotta like look like me. The vastness of my love, the vastness of my kindness and my peace is what I want you to exude to the people that I called you to.
Yes. I was reading the other day, maybe it was yesterday, I don't know. But one of the scriptures said his promises are pure. And I was just like, okay, God, like pure. I was like, and I didn't like, sometimes I'd be like, dig. But I was like, God, I want you to kind of show me that like throughout the next few days. What does that mean? He wants us pure. He wants us, like, he wants what we give him to be pure. And I was just like, man, he is literally purifying us and sanctifying us.
It's a process. I love that you said he is now, like, sanctification, purification is a process.
Period.
So, like, also, like, if ministry now what, like, you're signing up to now be purified and sanctified in public.
Ooh.
Like, that's what you're signing up for.
Listen.
Like, because we know that it's a process, but now the Lord is like, I trust myself enough in you. Yeah, he trusts the God in us. He trusts himself enough in us that he can purify us on platform.
And this is something I always say a lot, like, when you get in the light, baby, your shadow gonna show too.
Yeah.
And so I would say specifically to anybody who is like, I feel like I'm called to ministry. I'm ready to get in the game. Like, my time is near. Okay. Are you ready for people to see your butt?
Right.
Like that thing that you said, I do right, but I go here. I go to church on Sunday, but I also go out on Saturday. I go to it's gonna show up. Like you might not think it will, like because they might not see that you go to the club, but there'll be little things.
Yeah.
There'll be little moments. Like there'll be stuff that starts just showing up, and I, just in certain ways, you'll be like something, or people who got discernment, baby. You among people who got discernment. And
that Nikki Moore, Pastor Nikki,
baby.
I was like, Pastor Nikki.
They come around you, they like, when the last time you rested? When the last time? They just asking little questions, and all of a sudden it just lead right to your sin, and you like, wait, okay, I was over there last night. I'm so sorry, literally, they're like, well, you don't gotta apologize to me, right. But hey, you gotta come up. Like this ain't gonna work for you, and how grateful that we've been connected with people like that. That's a whole other story.
It is like just being able to see people process. That's what ministry is like. I am signing up for the Lord to purify me in public.
Yeah.
And it sucks sometimes, and it doesn't feel good, but His word reminds me that He won't put me to shame.
He won't.
Now my flesh might be feel shameful.
Okay. I might feel the shame.
Like last week when I was at work, and Pastor Jerome told me, I was just like, I just want to make impact. I feel like I'm not making impact. I felt like the Lord called me here to do X, Y, Z. And He said, baby, you sit on the side of the ministry. You're literally, you work in a department that is over discipleship for the entire church. If that's not impacting you, I don't know what is. I said,
whip. That'll do it.
That'll do it. But like I signed up for that, for like my internal motives to be exposed, for someone around me to be like, baby, like you think what you're doing is godly, you think what you're doing is obeying the Lord, but this is actually that. Like this is what you're actually saying.
Right.
And I think that is like one thing I would encourage people is to like do a deep dive in what you're actually saying. You say, Lord, I want to serve you. I want to serve your people. But like do a deep dive into your why.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to serve God's people? Why do you want to work in ministry? Why do you want to, start that podcast? Why do you know? And I'm saying why not because of like the Lord at the end is going to tell you not to do it. But you have to interrogate your motives. If not, it will be exposed.
Right.
And like, and when they're exposed, we're grateful for a Lord that will be like, baby, I'm gonna expose this because I want to cover you in it.
This has been great. Real quick, so I want you to just take a second, and I want you to encourage male, female, older, younger, whoever you feel like you need to encourage in this moment. They're like, okay, I feel like I'm ready for ministry. I feel like, or not even that I'm ready for it. I don't know if I'm ready or not. I don't know what that looks like for me. My church is calling me up. My job is calling me, all these different places, and I feel like I have an assignment. What do I do? Like, what do I do? How do I get ready? How do I prepare myself? Or what is God saying concerning that to you?
I think I would tell them to trust in the Lord's hand. That He who calls you is faithful and will complete everything that He called you to do. I will also say that you have to be okay with how God sees it to be. Like you may feel the unction, you may feel the call, or even if you don't feel the call, you may have a desire, right? Because it comes both ways, right? Like there were seasons of my life where I had a desire to like walk in ministry, and then I was like, okay, I'm cool, and then it was a call to be like, baby, you gotta do this thing now. But He's teaching me in this season to trust myself to do it His way, and however He sees it to be. So that will be my encouragement to people, and that God don't make no mistake. If He chose you, He chose you for a reason, and He will equip you for everything that He's called you to do. And I know that we hear that often, like, God, you will equip me and all of that good stuff. But I pray that is truly the meditation of your heart. That like, God, I trust that every place you call me to, that you equip me. You will equip me. And your equipping looks like what your equipping is. Like, in this season where I'm at right now, I feel like the Lord is saying, I've equipped you, but not in a way that you feel equipped. Because if you feel equipped, you will do it without me.
A whole nother thing.
So I'm like, Lord, okay, like, I actually need help. Like, just give me the tools to, like, learn how to, like, break my schedule out so I don't feel like I'm being pushed to and from. And he was like, you won't feel pushed to and from if you allow me to work through you.
Yeah.
So, like, my desire for equipping is not my desire for the Lord to give me the toolkit for me to then go build a desk by myself.
Listen.
It's for him to walk with me hand in hand. And sometimes it will be me with him, like, building a desk. And then sometimes it will be me standing with someone and teaching them how to build a desk.
Yeah.
So it's just like, just trusting the Lord, I would say, with all those things. Whether you're young or old, or, like I say, you like, yeah, I want to do this for the Lord. Or like, Lord, I like my corporate job. Like, yeah, I was like, I'm a corporate girly. Okay, I love Jesus, but I'm in corporate.
Yeah.
But wherever it is, so the Lord can make impact everywhere, just trusting him to finish the work. He started it. He'll finish it. And it will be good.
That's so good. Listen, that's so good. I pretty much echo what you said. I was just going to say trust that he's been preparing you.
Yeah.
He's been preparing you, you know, like it was little moments, little glimpses, little things. He's been faithful. He is faithful. You know, and he wouldn't put you somewhere that he didn't think you were prepared for. Yeah. And even if you got ahead of yourself or any of those things like that, because sometimes that happens too. We start stepping too fast. Like I'm proof that he'll put you back where you need to be, and that he will again put you right back there and make sure that you're equipped. So even if you got ahead a little bit, like he like, here, let me give you this real quick. Like, let me teach you this real quick. And it may not feel the best. It may not look the best. It may show up in different ways. And you like, hold on, God, what is happening? And he like, you know, you might not see it until after that he was like, I need you to learn that real quick because you're going to need that real quick. Right. But like, because you made this step, I needed you to learn this real quick. That's just a pivot. It's okay. Don't stop. Don't stop there. Like, just keep moving, keep walking. Like, you're good. And just learn to trust him more. Like, and this is the journey of ministry, like learning to trust him in a new way, even the more, all the things. Like, and I just want to say, like, you're ready to trust him more. Yeah. Like, you're ready to trust him more. Yeah, I was talking earlier just about like how I'm experiencing something right now. You know, I'm real transparent, I'm honest. Like, this is the first time I've ever gotten to a place where my tithes have declined. Yeah. Like, financially, just stuff happening. And so, of course, usually I'm running like, fire, run the other way. Like, everything is going wrong. Like, the Lord literally said, everything is going right. Yep. And I was like, how? Like, I'm looking at this, and even how do I have peace? Like, I'm concerned for myself. I'm like, how do I have peace? And the Lord literally was like, sometimes things happen because it's an alert. Like, I need you to see what it's like if you live loose. Yeah. And he was like, if I'm calling every place up, every place has to come up. Every place has to come up. And I don't think I would have really taken the time to pull it up had it not gotten to this place. Like, I was like, wait a minute, whoa. And the Lord was like, no need to cry. No need to be frustrated. Like, this is me literally going like, hey, this is a little blinker going off right here. That, like, remember when I told you to shoot up every area? Yeah. I meant every area. Yeah. Like, you can't just order off Amazon like you used to. Yeah. You can't just do what you used to do. Like you got to obey in every way in this season. And the Lord is like, and you're ready to trust me in that way. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't have done, like, it was just the peace of God that was like, I wouldn't have done this to you. Yeah. I wouldn't have let you get right here if I didn't think you could handle it. Right. And even that is good. Like, I was like, it's good. Like, this is good. Like, you know, like, who would say that when you like, girl, what? Yo, what happened? Yo, da-da-da. Like, I was like, I looked at my account and I said, ooh, you know, like that. But I was like, I had peace. Yeah. And the Lord literally was like, I actually can trust you in this place. Mm-hmm. But I needed to show you this. I needed you to see this. And that right there.
When the Lord had me, like, a couple months ago, sell my savings account, I said, Lord, you told me to be a good steward. You told me to pay off this credit card. You told me to do all these things. And now you want me to sell my whole savings account? Now what? What? And this is before I found out, like, about, like, my other job. And so I was like, Lord, like, I don't know what my income about to be. I'm about to, like, I'm trying to get ahead. I'm trying to get ahead of things.
Right.
He wanted me to trust him. And literally when I had made it in my mind, I'm like, okay, God, like, bruh, you want me to give this money? And he's like, if I can trust you to give this amount, I can trust you to give more than this amount. I can trust you to give more than this amount.
Right.
Like, it was just, he was literally showing me, like, the different numbers or whatever. And I was just like, whoa, God. Like, so when you ask me, you know, like, if there's, you know, when the day comes, he'd be like, baby, I need you to, like, sow 20,000. I'm not like,
Oh, God. What?
because I was faithful when he told me to sow 6.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
It's just that.
it's just that, and it's all, and I said this earlier, but it's all for him.
All for him. All for him. Yeah. So I just want to thank you, Jamesha. This has been a beautiful, beautiful conversation. Like, I feel like I hope that everybody had their notebooks out and just taking little notes. It was so many good little nuggets. I feel so much more encouraged. I feel like I'm even more ready for ministry. I'm ready to trust God more and just to see all that he's going to do throughout this year. And so I just want to thank you for coming on here. Like, you're the best. I love y'all. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're ready even the more now that you watched it. Y'all be blessed.
Ain't nobody